Hi YouTubers, welcome again to my channel Tech World, where we do some awesome tech reviews of today's most popular technology. And today we're reviewing my favorite computer, which is the Apple M1 processor, 13-inch MacBook Pro that was released back in, I believe, November. This computer, I gotta say, I've been using it for 1 month now, and it's completely changed the way I use my computers. It's super productive, extremely long battery life, and it's exactly what people say it is. It has 8-core CPU on the M1 processor, as well as 8-core GPU. And for you guys, that's 16 cores altogether, providing a completely efficient and truly extremely fast computer. Now, if speed is not your thing and you're looking for something that's portable, it's very portable. It's a 13-inch laptop that gives you over 20 hours of battery life, and it does really give you 20 hours. I've been using this pretty steadily for the last month, and I noticed I get about every 3 days I will charge a computer, and that's when it's down to 20%, and I'm sure it could go longer. It has extremely good processor power, especially running Final Cut Pro as well as iMovie, being able to process high graphics card, which would be like, for example, if I'm running a 4K as 4K video file or a 8K video file, it will process pretty fast. But enough of all that specky stuff. Let's talk about the actual computer. Like, we might not be so interested in the product in terms of the performance, but let's talk about the actual computer. This computer is very compact. I feel like every student should have this because of the size. The form factor is very small, makes it easy to travel with it and take it everywhere. However, there's some drawbacks with this computer that I'm not like, you have to actually buy other stuff to make it more functional. So one thing that I would recommend everyone to get is the this is actually a MacBook Pro case. It's made by a company called Lacdo, which is I believe a French company. I actually bought this online, and I'll put a description below where you can get it. But what I like about this case is actually it has pockets in front, which gives you the ability to put the charging brick for the MacBook Pro, SD card, as well as other adapters that you might need for this computer. The computer does have 2 USB-C ports, which is probably not the favorite thing about this computer, that it just lacks a lot of ports that you would need, which means you have to go out there and buy additional accessory. One of my only, I guess, disappointment about the MacBook Pro. However, it makes it up in speed. So this is the case that I got. It goes online about $49. It's a pretty useful case that it has the front pockets, which makes it nice and easy to store all your stuff that you would take with your computer. And then inside of it is actually really well protected. The material here is sort of like a really nice stitching, protects against water, so you can spill water and it wouldn't damage the internal component of the case. And then the laptop sits inside. I hope you guys can see there. Inside here you have the laptop, and then it has all these corner protectors that protect the edges of the laptop, so in case you drop the case, the laptop is pretty well protected. It's actually a smooth, velvety type of material inside, so it keeps it at a nice internal temperature, so it doesn't overheat the laptop or cause it to get too cold. And then it gives a nice protection, layer protection there. The laptop comes out. There is a beautiful MacBook Pro 13-inch. And then one cool factor is it does have an extra pocket at the back, which allows you to carry additional stuff. The one thing I wish this case had was a strap for a shoulder. Being able to carry everything in this one small sleeve is very useful, but if you had a shoulder, that would have been even more better. But for what it is, I love this case. I've looked at a lot of cases for the MacBook Pro 13-inch. Most of them just provide protection just for the laptop, but you definitely, because the fact that the computer doesn't have a lot of ports, you definitely need to carry additional accessory with this computer. One thing I do, so that's the 2 ports that it has, and those are USB-C ports or also Thunderbolt, Apple Thunderbolt ports, which are both data and power. And there's no other port except a headphone jack on the opposite side. So this computer, like I said, I love it. It's very fast, very efficient, great battery life on this computer. It doesn't make any noise whatsoever. Really good speakers that's built in, and there's no fan. So it's pretty much fanless. I believe someone mentioned that there was actually a vent on the hinges here to allow air to circulate, but the computer by itself, it's so thin and small that it doesn't take up any space whatsoever. But to make this computer really useful, you do have to get additional accessory. And some of the accessories that I went out and got for this computer is included in this secret bag that I got here. So the bag is one of my popular accessories. It's definitely pretty useful for this type of computer. And some of the additional accessories that I have inside this bag is obviously something to charge my phone. So I keep my phone charger brick here, which is a USB-A charger. But the one that I'm really excited to show you guys is this here. So this is actually two accessory, but what I like about this here, it's actually made by a company called XS Plus, and this is actually a dongle. And what it does, it allows you to add additional ports to your computer. So here you have 4 USB-A ports, which are data ports. You have a HDMI port. You have a USB-C port, which is data and power. And then you have a micro USB port. It's right there. And then you have a SD card. Allows you to read all your SD card. So right then and there, it uses one USB port on the MacBook Pro. And it gives you so many additional ports for your computer. So if you're out there in real world and you take your laptop and you don't actually you have to save a file on a USB. Technically you can't use a USB-C to save a file unless you have a SSD drive. But if you have a USB drive that you need to save something off your computer and you can use the cloud system, this would be something I would highly recommend, because you have additional USB ports here that you can plug in. It's also the same finish as the computer, so it blends right in as a natural accessory, having the same finish, same form factor. It doesn't take up much space. I wish this cable was shorter, but it's pretty good length, and it just blends in right with the computer. It seems like a natural add-on. The other thing that I did purchase is this USB-C adapter, which basically just allows you to take one of the USB-C port, and gives you a USB-A port. So this is like if you don't want to take this here with you, or you don't want to have something, you're in a classroom and you don't want to have this hanging off your computer, you can just use this really small adapter that will just use a USB-C port and gives you a USB-A port to store all your USB files or data. So that's the two must-have accessory. Very inexpensive. I paid $24.99 for this dongle from Amazon, and I paid $12.99 for this USB-C, and it's actually really nice. I'm really amazed at this USB-C adapter. It's metal, so it's very well secure, and it's small, and it has the same chrome finish as the computer, so it just blends in. It doesn't have a high contrast to the computer where it stands out. So I do like that. It's like a very simple, minimal look to the computer. The other accessory that you might want to consider having for the MacBook Pro 13-inch to make it more functional is the Apple Magic Mouse. So the computer does have a pretty large trackpad, but I do find that if you're not used to tapping on the actual trackpad for your right and left click, it might be a little bit more convoluted. So I'm always used to a mouse. I do carry with me the Apple Magic Mouse, which is a nice mouse. I love this mouse. I've had it for almost 10 years now. I use it on my old 15-inch MacBook Pro, and because it's Bluetooth, it works on all Apple product. And it's just 2 Duracell AA battery that powers the mouse, and it actually acts as a trackpad as well as a click, right and left click, and then you can scroll up and down on a page, and those gestures will carry out by the computer. So it's very seamless in terms of using on the computer. And this allows you to not be like too close to your computer where you have to have your computer right up in your face. If you, let's say if you're not on a desk to use your computer, you can have this on your actual desk, on your workspace, and use this to carry out function on your computer. So I do love this Magic Mouse. It sells for about $79 at the Apple Store, but I've had mine for a very long time and I love it. And this is something I would definitely recommend if you're not used to just using a trackpad on your computer and you want to have an actual extended mouse. There's so many variations of different types of mouse, but the one that I like is the one that Apple makes, the Apple Magic Mouse. The other accessory that I have here that I haven't talked much about because I'm probably going to change it, it's actually SSD drive. This is a 256 gig SSD made by a company called Sebre. I've had this for a few years now, actually 2 years now I've had this. It's very light. I wish it was smaller, but it's nice and compact so you can carry it wherever you go, and you can offload a lot of your files that's on your computer onto the SSD drive, keeping your computer nice and free from storage, from running out of storage. This SSD drive is a must-have because it's powered by a USB 3.0, so it does allow you to transfer files pretty fast from the computer as well to the hard drive. So I would definitely recommend this SSD for a MacBook Pro 13-inch. As you guys know, the MacBook Pro 13-inch, it does have an option to upgrade it to 512 SSD drive, but you never want to get in a situation where you're using up too much storage on your computer. It jeopardizes the computer functionality in terms of speed. So I always offload all my files to the iCloud, and as a secondary backup, I usually just save it on the SSD drive, keeping my computer nice and free of any space. So there we go. So number one accessory would be this dongle, from giving you more access to ports, which is one of the biggest drawback with the MacBook Pro 13-inch, is that the lack of ports on the computer. This is $24.99, and it's definitely a very functional accessory. The second, as smaller it is, small and mighty, this is a USB-C adapter, which gives you the option from USB-C to USB-A ports to allow you to store all your files. The Apple Magic Mouse is sort of an optional accessory if you're looking for something that gives you the functionality of the Apple ecosystem, and if you're used to the Apple way of navigating, this mouse will just add to that experience. And other stuff that I have inside the bag, so I said the bag has a lot of storage. There's a pocket here. I store all the SSD and the mouse right here, and then there's additional cables in case you need it. You never know, you never out of cable. I have a standard USB port there, and then I have an additional USB card reader, which I just carry around just for the hell of it. But there you go. Those are the accessories that I recommend. I know a lot of people getting like skins for the laptop. I'm not a strong believer of having skins on the laptop because it could take away from the ventilation. The laptop is made for to be cooled by the external body, so the chrome finish actually helps with the cooling of the laptop. So I'm not a big believer of putting a skin around it because that could tend to overheat the laptop or cause some heating issues. But those are the accessories that I recommend for the MacBook Pro 13-inch. This is the case that definitely comes in very useful because everything here fits directly inside the case. And in comparison, this is my 15-inch 2008 MacBook Pro, and you can see how old this computer is. Been around for over 10 years. It's pretty thick. You guys can see the difference in size. This computer has old-fashioned CD DVD ROM, which you don't get anymore these days on the MacBook Pro. And it also has, look how many ports. So everything that's here on the dongle is pretty much everything that's on the MacBook Pro 2008, with the exception of the internet connection. So I have internet and the power attachment there for charging, 2 USB ports, headphone and microphone jack, SD card reader. All that stuff is actually now sold separately, or you have to purchase separately. So as much as the MacBook Pro 15-inch is slower now because of how long it's been in the market, I've had it for so long. I've changed the battery on it to extend the life. I purchased an aftermarket battery, and that gave me almost 2 hours of battery life, which is still not good in this day and age, but it is very reliable. It's very durable, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm now upgrading to the 13-inch MacBook Pro because I want something that's compact. When I'm traveling, when I'm in the car, I could just whip this out, edit files, or send a documents, reply to emails pretty quickly. This works much better than this computer here. So guys, if you like this video, please subscribe. I know we need to get some more subscribers to the channel. I am giving away a Apple iWatch, which is the Series 4, to one of my lucky subscriber. I'm actually upgrading my Apple iWatch to the Series 6, and I wanted to give away the Apple iWatch Series 4, which I just purchased, and it's pretty brand new. So if you like and subscribe to the video, one of the subscriber that subscribe, and if you subscribe, take a picture of your subscription and email it to me in this description below. Let me know that you subscribe so you can get the Apple iWatch Series 4. All right, so there you go. I'm gonna pack everything up inside that case right there, show you guys what it's like when everything here is in that case and how small and compact it is, as you saw in the beginning of the video. So that this might be something that, of interest to reduce and protect your technology. So let's see you in the next video. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. There you go, guys. So I put everything inside the pocket here. So in this pocket I have the Apple Magic Mouse as well as the SSD drive. So that's in this pocket, as well as additional cables. Let's close that up. In this pocket here I have the dongle with all the USB or all the extra ports that you may need, as well as the adapter. Then that's really all I have. In this here I usually keep the charger for the MacBook Pro. I usually keep that in this pocket, as well as a charger for my phone. And we just push everything inside. Make sure the corners are protected. Just like that. And zip it up, and there we go. Pretty useful, compact. This case actually comes in different colors. And I actually have the black. My wife, she has the MacBook Pro, the MacBook Air, and she got the same case but in purple. But you can get different colors at the actual store. So I'm gonna drop the description below. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next video.